Men once again getting completely dysregulated when they see women saying, please value us as human beings and for our expertise and the unpaid domestic labor and caregiving that we provide for society. This bro says, I do several $1,000s of unpaid labor around the house every month. Love that for you, buddy. Love that for you. So does my husband. That's a lot of laundry, but just one broken water line or roof on the garage. He says, like, women can't do that kind of work. Right? He's essentially saying that he can do the domestic work that women do, which is wild. If you like look for 1 second at all of the videos of men with weaponized incompetence who don't know how to sort the laundry or like clean ketchup off the counter or load the dishwasher or know the phone number to their kid's pediatrician or don't even know their kids' birthdays, don't tell me that men know how to do the labor that women, especially mothers, do on a daily basis. But then he makes this claim of like one broken water line or a problem with the garage roof and like women have to call in a man. Honey bun, I don't know what fantasy land you're living in, but when we have plumbing problems, I fix it. When we need to remodel the bathroom, I do it. When we have a leak somewhere, I obviously don't get up on my very steep roof, but I am in charge of finding the contractor that I will hire to do the repairs. And if it's something where I don't have to get on a ladder, I will be doing it myself. Or partnering with my spouse and we will work on it together. But I cannot think of a single instance where it was like his show and, you know, without a man, I would have been incapable. But then he feels the need to try to denigrate and devalue the unpaid labor of women in the house even further by saying, I can pay a Honduran maid $20 an hour to do housework. Weird, or more likely overtly racist and xenophobic, that you felt the need to point out the nationality of the domestic laborer that you would hire. Make sure we all know that she would be from Central America. I don't know what maid you're paying $20 an hour, but around here, kids get paid $20 an hour to work at Burgerville. So it's again, completely detached from reality that you think that is how much domestic housework is compensated right now in America. I mean, let's not forget the fact that in the capitalist system designed by men that inherently devalues on purpose, denigrates on purpose, vocations, tasks, skills, expertise that are traditionally seen as feminine, you know, teaching, child care, domestic work, caregiving for the elderly among them. Of course, those kinds of jobs would be massively underpaid because even though they are completely necessary, nobody wants to pay for them. They want housewives to do it for free. And of course, in our current American system, where we don't want to pay for that kind of work, that we have to rely on immigrant labor. We have to rely on people who are vulnerable and exploit them for wages that are just unconscionably low, for labor that is exhausting, psychologically and physically exhausting, right? There is a reason the majority of our domestic work are immigrants. Many are undocumented. There is a reason the majority of our CNAs, the folks who work in senior living nursing homes, why those folks are predominantly immigrants. This is why the majority of our childcare workers are immigrants. And I think we are all in for a really rude surprise. Really rude. I mean, it's not a surprise. It's been publicly, there have been so many economists breaking it down very clearly, but folks don't want to listen. If we are going to deport our immigrants, including the Cheetos interest declared plan to revoke birthright citizenship, if we're going to lose all of those folks because they're going to be kicked out of this country or put in concentration camps and forced to do, unpaid labor, just like we make our prisoners do, right? If that happens, our economy will crumble. That's just the domestic labor. We're not even looking at all of the immigrant labor that runs our entire agricultural system, right? Our domestic labor, our healthcare system, our childcare system, our elder care system, our maids, our housekeepers, both commercial and for, people in their homes, as well as all of our agricultural workers who harvest, grow, care for, all of our food, who work in the, meat packing industries. So it's not just the veggies we produce, it's also the meat and dairy and eggs, all of that immigrant labor. So we're about to have some rude surprises. I'm sure folks like this guy, if you go and look at his account, it's clearly that he is, clearly evident that he's a maggot. So of course he wants to denigrate immigrants and the labor that they do, the labor that he needs to hire them to do. Yeah, these are the same folks who are going to get the shock of their life when and if the horrific impending human rights violations of kicking immigrants out of America happens. Those of us who are left, we're going to be in a world of hurts. We are not going to be able to function because we, cushy white Americans, we don't want to do the kind of labor that we expect immigrants to do for us. We don't want to do it, and we don't want to pay people to do it. We're going to see farms, we're going to see industries of all types, we're going to see individual homeowners who are, up a creek without a paddle real quick. And maybe that is the hard lesson that folks have to learn, right? Maybe that is the experience of failure that is going to be requisite in order for them to learn the lesson that most of us can learn by reading a paper by an economist. It's just desperately sad that many people are going to suffer. Billions of dollars will get wasted in the process. It's going to be a terrible experience, and it's so disappointing that that is the only way that some folks learn. And that the rest of us who already knew from the get-go, who didn't need to learn the lesson, we will have to go through all of the struggle and the suffering in order for other folks to learn what we have known all along. That's the state of America right now. But, in a world where these are the folks who voted in our elected officials, the folks who don't value women, don't see women and the work that they provide as worthy, don't see women as fully human, definitely don't see our own right to bodily autonomy and our own right to decide our own healthcare as something that they would support. Those same folks also have this similar view of immigrants, less than unworthy, and they don't understand how necessary the labor that we all provide to society is and how it's going to cripple every part of our nation to lose that workforce. Which actually makes me wonder about Erica Chenoweth and her 3.5% rule, which is, historically when 3.5% of the population has stood up to authoritarianism, that the attempt to overthrow the government or take over or destroy democracy has been squashed. It has been stopped. What would it take for 3.5% of women and domestic workers to stand up? Because I think we as women alone, we could shut down all of the impending horrors that we currently see as inevitable. So, okay, that's enough on this subject for now. Yeah.